also wanted some rest. I believe the boys are in boot camping in Malaysia right now. So they've got a good environment to go out and relax in, and maybe Ana needs a little bit of a break. We do see, again, Xiao Yu picks up the Tusk. Exilern will take that mid-primal beast, and Thompson is playing the mid-morph. So I'm keen to see how much RSG can get done. Again, they've had at least one series to do some research on T1. RSG's been getting a lot of practice in. I know these guys have been working pretty damn hard. And we did see Coach Ohai in the background. He looked pretty happy. It didn't look too tense there for RSG. They do have a good draft. They've got good momentum coming out here. The lanes can be really aggressive, but so can T1's lanes. So there's a lot of back and forth left here. I think the lane to watch out for from T1 is going to be Ana's lane, because Undying's early presence is just so strong. I think the off-lane Tusk for Xiao Yu, while it does have some play, Undying punishes that sort of play really well, because you clump up. You want to play with tag team and clump up. Undying's just going to get free strength.
Big smiles on the faces of T1. At least there were big smiles on the faces of T1, as we are going to get into game number 1 very, very soon. Jonathan, the floor is yours. 4 predictions to be made. A lot of viewers watching right now, sir. Ugh. What are the guaranteed 100% predictions from John X Fire this game?
Highest net worth by 25. I actually want to say... Oh, actually, top Ana could actually farm pretty fast on Undying by 25. Team with the most runes picked up by 10. I would lean towards... T1 has really good support to rotate. Which team will win? I want to say RSG, but honestly, I don't think they've figured out the core Undying. T1, longest kill streak. I want to say Thompson. He's probably the hardest to kill off there. It is still a fairly decent Morphling game.
Okay, fair enough. Should be an interesting one. There you go. There's your predictions, chat. Enjoy. RSG, MKS just currently chilling out in the mid lane by the Observer Ward, just making sure nobody gets near his Observer Ward there is Thompson. We'll watch him. A little bit of a wrap around here from T1, but MKS should be just fine to walk his way out. Don't know if there's going to be a level 1 team fight this game. I mean, you've got RSG with the Tusk. That's the thing, right? Like, Xiao Yu might feel like, hey, I've got tag team. Let's go. Let's try and get something done here against the side of T1 early on. Because you can't underestimate the slow potential of this Techies with that sticky bomb either. I always kind of rave on about how strong Techies is at the moment. Jia Bonbon seems to agree with me. So we do get into it. Jia Bonbon going to move forward. Sticky bomb is there. Zephyr, he'll have the battery assault. Xiao Yu going to be able to outpick him though. Fast hands on the Tusk. It is going to be, I believe, a 2-for-2 trade anyway, as Cuckoo is going to be able to secure the last banner rune for his team. And let's start with the mid lane. You are going to have the mid Exilern Primal Beast coming out. He'll be against the Morphling of Thompson in this mid lane. Jonathan, we haven't seen Primal Beast versus Morphling mid yet. How does this matchup meant to go?
I feel like it's pretty farmy for the first 2 levels. Maybe once Exilern has a level 2, you could try to be aggressive right before Thompson hits that level 2 attribute shift. Once you have that up, I mean, Thompson's pretty safe. In fact, this Morphling matchup is pretty good. Just because you've got the waveform to level up, you're not going to be caught under to trample, which really feels like the Problem Beast's one trump card in lane to really bully. So Thompson's always got a way out of danger. And that should mean he just has a consistent time farming. Exilern shouldn't be held off from farming either. So it might just boil down to whoever gets better rune control down the line here.
Of course, that bottom lane as well. You're going to have the DP, MKS, and Roger going at it here against Ana. Excuse me, did I say DP? I meant Slark. Roger, he's dropping quite low already. Ana, he's going to go for a chase. Roger will Fairy Fire up. Kind of a hard lane here for Roger to actually get anything done in on that Elder Titan. You do have that pos 1 Undying hanging around here from T1, and it's not going to be that easy to try and harass and abuse with this Elder Titan. And of course, you're going to have the support there of Whitemon as well on the line, which, again, is going to make it rather difficult for Roger. Maybe not so much for MKS, as he does try and make the jump in. But Ana will be there to zone them out. Nothing going to come out of this. Meanwhile, mid lane, Thompson, fighting back against Exilern. Really getting a lot of damage in, but Exilern playing on the edge, does have the bottle, is going to be just fine.
Yeah, he's farming up fairly well, doing a good job of just slowing Thompson down just by a tad. Thompson still managing to find some really good CS though, so he's not being held back too much, but The bottle refills coming out for Exilern, and his mobility with the Onslaught does mean that he's going to have a better time for the next creep wave. Well, Thompson should have some regen flying back in. Last lane that we haven't touched is up top. A little bit of a chase out from Zephyr onto Xiaobon Bon. The boots ensures that Xiaobon Bon isn't in any danger though. Does manage to back off, but you are having a pretty damn good lane for Cuckoo. Like, there's not much Xiao Yu can do to stop that Death Prophet, and that's where the flex, that lane switching comes on hand. Like, the Undying can work against the Tusk lane, but the DP just dominates that lane. You do not want to snowball in, you do not want to try to run down with Tag Team, because Spirit Siphon in the early levels is really damn strong with the changes to it.
It certainly is. Xiaobon Bon, only level 1 right now on the techies as well. Like, I always talk about the level 2 timing and the level 3 power spike of the techies. See, level 2 with the blast off always very potent. Level 3 even more so. They still don't have the blast off though, so Zephyr's going to be just fine to back away. Cuckoo will zone them out on the Death Prophet. Meanwhile, mid lane Thompson again going to be chased down by Exilern with the trample and uproar. Thompson, strength morphing, is going to be able to survive through it. Exilern would love a solo pick off onto Thompson and this Morphling. Not going to have the opportunity quite yet.
Still managed to zone him out pretty well though. Tramplet's not too long off. The Onslaught could try.
Now, Thompson still kind of manning up through it. The trample doing a hell of a lot of damage. No mana for the waveform, but he will strength morph and be just fine. Exilern, top of the CS board right now. On that Primal Beast, having a very good landing stage. Oh, Thompson, he's going to be careful. Xiaobon Bon looking to cut him off. Thompson, he's very low on HP at the moment, but he'll strength morph back. Xiaobon Bon does get spotted by the tower anyway. Wards are on the high ground to give that vision. So I suppose Thompson was never really in danger to begin with.
It's going to be just fine. A nice walk over from Zephyr as well, just to ensure no shenanigans happen on that mid. They want that stable start for Thompson and Ana though.
Yeah, MK is stuck around on very low HP, not respecting the decay. Decay is at level 2, so it does deal damage, and he does end up going down. Ana with the Soul Ring, he's got the mana every single time now. Meanwhile, mid lane, here we go again. They try onto Thompson, Onslaught connects. That's about all they get on Thompson, though. He's fine.
Yeah, he's going to be secure now. It does feel like as long as he's got mana with the attribute shift, he should be fine. He's got a good amount on the stun as well, just to ensure if the trample's in, he can just hold Exilern back. And overall, a pretty stable start for T1 already. Less than 1k lead going their way. The only real good lane from RSG so far is Exilern's lane, which, to be fair, is the backbone of your team for the most part, but does feel like you're going to want that build up rather soon, or a little bit faster on MKS. Like, this Slark wants some early activity, wants some early Edson Shift permanent stacks, and it's not really an easy game to get that done here.
Thompson's done a great job of catching up in CS as well. Still, Exilern is ahead by 3, but the Morphling still having a very good time. His bot lane, MKS, being very cautious now. Ana, level 4 mark, does have Tombstone up at level 1. KS does not want to feed another kill away here to the Undying if he can avoid it. Again, Roger really hasn't been able to do anything. This is the real positive about the lane switch that happened with T1, is Roger on the Elder Titan just hasn't had a game yet. Just has nothing to do apart from pull the lane. He's trying his absolute best to do so. They've kind of accepted the fact that MKS, he just needs to farm, and Roger, he just needs to give XP to the Slark. Just let him have it.
Yeah. Just as much as possible as he can possibly kind of get there. Some movements towards mid once more.
Yeah, Trample's still going through the Hex. Exilern with the Onslaught going to keep going. Whitemon, he'll Fairy Fire up, will survive. In comes Zephyr, but he cannot break the gap. He's only level 2 on that Clockwork. Nowhere near the level 6 mark yet. It's only 6 minutes into the game. But they do protect Whitemon. So the Lion is going to be able to salve up and walk away. RSG, so far, all their attempts have been foiled by T1. They are not allowing any kills to go the way of RSG.
Being really responsive towards the movements out from RSG, and opening up the side lanes makes things worse for RSG's end. I mean, MKS is still having a rough time farming. Xiao Yu isn't getting the build up he'd want on this Tusk. His early levels aren't quite ramping up as well. And T1 just gets to take control in every way they'd want to. I mean, Ana's going for that Echo Saber build up we talked about, so probably just a Shard Echo Saber build. Just run heroes down with a Flesh Golem when that's up and running. And you just don't have anything yet. I mean, they're keeping Xiaobon Bon actually just camped on mid, because there's no play with Xiao Yu. And speaking of Xiao Yu,
In trouble top lane. Shard's not going to block them out. Cuckoo, he'll chase them down, secure the kill. Onslaught is there, XE Learn. He doesn't connect, but with the trample, he gets a bit of damage. Problem is Cuckoo will keep chasing. There's your Pulverize, but the damage upward not too high. Blast off, but Fairy Fire. Cuckoo trying to run with the Salve. He'll make it. Cuckoo barely making it out. T1, they are refusing to give any openings over to RSG.
Yeah, I think they've gotten a good read that RSG really need this aggression coming through. They even smoke up just to ensure that they can walk away. They've got the stacks ready. Learn is not healthy enough for that.
Be careful, sir. Pulverize him. Yep, that'll do it. A little bit. You'll have to leave the rest be. Oh no, Zephyr's gonna see them now as well. There you go. Pings them out. Zephyr knows the large ones are still there. XE Learn, you cannot come back for this, sir. Level 3 is up for Zephyr, so he's got the level 2 battery assault. He will have to back. We'll see if they can steal those stacks away. It looks like Thompson is making his way over. He wants them. Here we go. Enjoy the farm that the Radiant was meant to have, Thompson. Blast off.
Oh.
They try. That's a lot of damage from Zhao Bonbon, but not quite enough to get any kills. Still, they try for Zephyr. They'll find the clockwork, but what does it cost them? Zhao Yu, he's going to try to back, but Thompson, he's on the chase. There's the waveform. Roger shows up. Now the onslaught. XE Learn, trying to help out his task. We'll buy him some space. So Thompson, forced to back away. Still 1-3. RSG, they do pick up their first kill of the game. That'll be something. Meanwhile, MKS, he's dueling Ana.
That's pretty brave. He does have level 6 up, so it's harder for him to die, and Ana's kind of out of mana.
Oh, it was a little bit of a bait. The sticky bomb does not end up connecting, though. Ana, he will be able to walk away just fine. KS feeling a lot more confident to keep trying to find his mid lane now. Roger gets an Echo Stomp. Allowing T1 to try and get aggressive. 1k advantage for the side of T1. RSG doing a good job of keeping up. Problem is, John, you look at the top 3 net worths on the board right now, they are all cores of T1.
And they've found everything they wanted to. I mean, Ana had a phenomenal lane. Thompson, he was being equaled by Xlearn, but they invest so much onto the mid that there's not much room for Xlearn to really farm and even get aggressive on. Like, he tries to charge in. Zephyr, just with a battery assault, can just shove that away. And RSG are now forced to play a slower game. Up against a Morphling, up against this core and dying with a mid-game spike. That's not what you want to achieve here. And Xiao Yu's just been static up top, which Cuckoo doesn't mind at all.
Ana?
It just...
MKS, he's hitting hard. A lot of essence shift taken. He'll pop the Shadow Dance. Ana, still going to have some TP rotations to come in. Cuckoo immediately TP's in. He will not allow that Pos 1 Undying to die. And Ana is barely going to be able to survive. The Shadow Dance movement speed not proving to be enough with the rotation of Cuckoo.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to give that gauntlet win out to MKS. That's the most important part. Roger being chased around here.
White one will not be able to keep up with Roger, though Roger does walk back to the high ground. Pings are out. They seem to know he's around there somewhere, and now the battery assault is going to connect. Roger, I suppose he had nowhere else to go. That was not his base he was running towards. So he will get caught, and Ana will take his second kill of the game on the Apos 1 Undying.
Yeah, that's what you want to see here for Ana. Is just, you know, he's still getting that build up. He isn't going for the shard, not queuing that up, but Echo Saber BKB Blink, so just wants to be aggressive and up front. And just kind of cut off RSG from getting any safe clump up with how much the Undying gets in the middle of those engagements. RSG, I mean, this slower playstyle, it just doesn't feel like what this lineup wants to do. Like, we haven't seen the productivity of Xiao Bonbon from his techies. He's been showing up mid, but it hasn't been leading to any pickoffs. Neither has Roger had any impact as well on this other Titan. So you've cut off what the supports want to do here from RSG on T1's end. And it feels like a lot of RSG actually hinges, especially on Xiao Bonbon, to find that early momentum, because once he's ready to go, Xiao Yu tends to be ready to go. We're not seeing that just yet.
Roger, he's going to drop. Thompson now takes his first kill of the game on the Morphling. Nice little setup there from White One on the Lion. These cores just picking up kill after kill. RSG to slow down a little bit, buy themselves more time for MKS to keep that farm going on the Slark. And speaking of the Devil, there is a smoke rotation. In fact, never mind. They're going to find Learn on that Primal Beast. Xiao Bon will make the jump in. Learn dropping low, but the mine damage, it's quite high. They got Zephyr, but Learn's gone. That's a great pick-off once again. T1 finding a fantastic trade in Cuckoo immediately. He'll go for the Exo into the mid-tier 1 tower. This is going to be really problematic now for RSG if this goes down. It opens up the map too much for T1. You need more space for MKS. You can't allow the jungle to be taken right now by T1. They'll try to slow it down with the Older Titan Stomp, but Thompson's not backing off. Neither is Cuckoo. Eventually they may, and they will. But that's a lot of damage being dealt.
Yeah, it's a good amount of chip out onto that mid-tier 1. Forces Xiao Yu to show up. They're not ready to play with his Tusk. Feels like Xiao Yu is still gunning for that blink first. Into the BKB, into the Ags. With a kickback, you're going to have a lot more to play with. But as is, I mean, T1 are just working the map so well. They still haven't revealed the finger from Whitemon, so they've got that burst damage ready to go. Zephyr has his hook shot ready as well. And they're just ready to rock and roll. There's really not much holding them back. And for RSG, I mean, they're just kind of farming right now. They're getting some space out for Learn. His BKB is being formed up. Already has the Ogre Axe up and running. But it just feels like this momentum-based lineup now just needs to stay a little bit passive to get build up, and it just doesn't favor them too much.
Anna, stomp up top lane. Snowball is there. Xiao Yu has no spells to follow up though. Hook shot. Oh, Zephyr, that's a perfect angle. Finds the hook right onto Xiao Yu. That Snowball, it's going to cost him his own life. They could have just backed. Maybe a bit of a panic Snowball there. He had nothing to follow up with.
Yeah, I don't think they could have gone for the all-in as well. It looked like Xiao Yu was just trying to poke and prod, but forces out a really big response. And now they're rotating back to mid. They want that tier 1. They've got a big kill, and if they want to, they could probably find it. Exo is still half a minute away, but with the damage done to the tower, it doesn't feel like you'll even need that exorcism. And they're just forcing RSG to plump up. They're not giving that much room out for RSG to recover.
Yeah, not allowing anything. MKS just trying to farm the Dire jungle. Will be able to pounce away from Cuckoo. Does have the Diffusal Blade up as well as that Falcon Blade. May start working on towards the Aghanim Scepter now that we do see on POS 1 Slugs quite a bit in this current patch. Might be the way to go because it does feel like MKS is going to be forced to try and join these team fights very early on. Speaking of pickups, there's your Echo Saber now for Anna. So he is going for the classic Echo Saber into the Shards build-up, which we used to see with the POS 1 Undyings. Still very, very potent. Very hard to deal with all the zombies spawning up her right. Click a Zephyr. Hook shot onto the Primal Beast. Whitemon's there to follow up, and Learn, he cannot survive the damage. That'll be the T1 mid gone. No way to defend it. Top lane, Thompson, he's playing with Xiao Yu. Rotations are incoming. Snowball out from Thompson, right back into the Tusk. Xiao Yu, silenced up, is not going to survive either. T1, so far, are making this game 1 look very easy.
And they've got control from every lane. They win out the laning phase in a big way. They're getting better rotations out. And RSG are just playing super passive with a lineup that feels like it wants to be all over them. But they just didn't get that start they want. They need to buy time for that build-up. MKS is still running up. He is working towards the Ags you mentioned there, Mike. Just start to save up for it. Might find Cuckoo, but doesn't even land the pounce.
Just a bit short. Does have the Diffusal Blade, but MKS is copying so much damage. Cuckoo with the Spirit Vessel and the Spirit Siphons. Really melting the Slug very, very quickly. They had a stun or a Hex from Whitemon. That probably would have been a kill. MKS, he is fine to back off for now. Definitely needs the Aghanim Scepter, I think, before he gets too involved here. Like, he's not mobile enough quite yet, I don't think, on the Slark to really help out his team yet. I think he just has to accept the time and space being given to him by RSG. And speaking of, they are going to go for a 4-man smoke into the mid lane. They're trying to focus down the POS 1 Undying. Anna falling low, falling very low. They've got him down. Zephyr now in trouble as well. RSG, they'll be happy with this. They just want to back out. It's Cuckoo. We'll try to punish. There's a Snowball to turn back around. Xiao Yu, he'll give his life away, but no, the blink away. They can't hold him down. Xiao Yu, able to save his own life. And they got the big one. They got that POS 1 Undying. Anna's down.
So that's good news for RSG. Finally finding and kill that matters a little bit more here on their end. Getting some much needed gold out onto Exilern. BKB still a little bit more gold away, but once you've got that up and running, Primal Beast is going to be much more willing to be in that front line for the team. And for T1, well, they're still feeling strong. They're still clumped up. I mean, Finger is on cooldown for a bit longer. Hookshot is ready, and they know that they're kind of trying to group around bot. TP out already from Xiaobonbon. Roger's still around here, though, if they want that.
They're going to know as well. The courier was sniped. Rocket Flare. Go right over the head of Roger. Not the biggest kill in the world here on the Elder Titan. It's just a pos 5, but Thompson, he loves position 5, so he'll move over. Barely misses out, now sees him. Bit of sidestepping here from Roger. Actually jukes towards the north. Hook shots off the mark here from Zephyr. Rocket Flare is back off cooldown, but it's also going to miss Roger. He's broken the ankles of T1. And he TP's right out, back towards his team. Into the mid lane he goes.
They managed to waste a lot of time. And
Whitemon starting up, the blast off shards is there. Whitemon pulverized by Exilern. Now the shards out onto Cuckoo. They want the Death Prophet. Tombstone drop though. Anna, he's gonna move in. The shards blocking them in almost. MKS, oh, he's gonna drop. Thompson has his own shards as well. MKS, he'll get tipped by Cuckoo. And they protect the mid-tier 1 tower.
hold on, that is a really deep commitment out from RSG. Especially dragging MKS like that. Like, maybe they just feel a little bit strong and protected with the Shadow Dance and the Death Shroud. Not quite enough. As T1 dipped into the Roshan now themselves. With the Exo committed out from Cuckoo, it's not going to take long. Roshan just absolutely melting. And no options left for RSG to jump in there. Still no key items flying out. Does look like the Ags is finished up on Exilern. So you have a safer time in running in, getting the Pulverize off. But it's a 5k lead for T1. They're hitting these early spikes. The Core Undying already having that BKB up so hard to deal with. And in theory, like you said from the draft there, Mike, there is a positive feedback loop where you can just kind of sap away at the Undying who's stealing the stats of your own allies, but that takes time. That takes farm for you to hit that fast, and it's not yet there for MKS.
I sort of scan out as well from T1. They've actually caught RSG on that high ground with that scan. Maybe assuming a smoke might be on the way, but T1 don't seem to react whatsoever to it. They just hang around that triangle. Bottom lane, Whitemon. Gonna see MKS underneath that Observer Ward. We'll look to back his way out. He's all alone right now. RSG are gonna find the ward anyway. Looking to play around too much. Instead, rotations back up towards the top lane where Xiaobonbon should be alright, but Zephyr's going to be on a bit of a chase here on the clockwork. Rocket Flare and Hookshot are up. Rocket Flare does go over Xiaobonbon. They do see the techies with the hookshot. Oh, it was actually just too short. It was right on target by Zephyr, but it was like a centimeter off. A bit unfortunate.
That's some space Xiaobonbon's creating, allowing the rest of RSG to still try to get this build up. They even find the mid-tier 1 for their trouble. They're still kind of searching for the techies here.
They are. Xiaobonbon is going to be okay. He'll TP up. Bottom lane, Whitemon defending the tier 2 tower. RSG, they are around. They could try to pincer him in and secure the Lion kill if they wish. Problem is, you are going to be trying to dive the tier 2 tower, and the TP rotations could come out quite fast here from T1 if you're not careful. They will scout him out, jump in. Xiao Yu is there with the Walrus Punch. He blows him up. Nice pick up from Xiao Yu. MKS now feels free to move into the tier 2 tower. However, top lane, Xiaobonbon has been caught. Goes for the blast off towards the north. Does he have a TP? Not quite. He just used it. Meanwhile, MKS, he'll go on to Zephyr. On the Slark, he'll try with the Shadow Dance. Primal Beast will move in. They'll at least find Zephyr. While Thompson is still trying to chase down Xiaobonbon. He'll go for the onslaught, but there's your Pulverize. Where's Thompson gone? There he is. He's back in. MKS gets blown up. Oh, MKS, he just disappears. Another tip out from Thompson. Can I see a replay of that? How much HP did just get deleted from MKS? Oh, no, Thompson. Oh, here we go. Thompson's doing Thompson things again, John. Here we go, Roger. Hex out, they find another. Righto, bring on the replay. Let's have a look.
Yeah. It's a bit rough right now for RSG, you can see in that fight. They surround Thompson, they get BKB and the pulverize off. It looks like they might find more. A bit of a fight breaking out onto Exalurn right now as well. MKS, yeah,
Look at that.
shot him down. He had the Depth
Yikes.
Shroud, he didn't manage to use it.
Oh, Anna, he's onto Exalurn. They try to go for Zephyr. He had the battery assault going. He didn't need it. Anna's here. High five up as well. They're feeling it now, T1. Keep in mind, they've got the shards up on the Undying as well, so you really can't underestimate the damage output of the Undying anymore. Level 15 talent as well with the plus 22 zombie damage. It's rough.
It's pretty tough right now for RSG. I think the key timing they have to kind of build up into now is Xiao Yu's BKB into Ags. Just that kickback can be big in turning these fights. The Ags for MKS is something we've been waiting for as well. He needs to be able to latch onto these heroes from very far away, but the BKBs do kind of ruin that. They are building into that spell opportunity. Anna's had his for a while. Cuckoo has his up and running. Thompson, he's almost done with the Ags, Mike. We're going to have more Fling Ags on hand with the bonus steals. So even more stats stolen, spell amp, agi, or strength depending on the hero. Thompson's going to have a lot of play once that's up and running here.
Who do you think he steals from? Like the Slark, maybe? The Slark, the Primal Beast, perhaps? More than likely? What are you thinking?
I feel like you actually do want Primal Beast and probably Tusk, just for the hold. Like, Tusk is very disruptive. Snowball for Thompson, kind of dance around in, it's pretty big. Shards to cut them off is also really nice, so I'd say Tusk might be a higher priority. The Slark is pretty damn good as well, though. Like, there's nothing for MKS to defend against his own leash if it's turned against him. So there's a lot of back and forth play there. Still, RSG, I mean, that Ags time we talked about looks like it's only a part away now for MKS, and you've got the Blink up and running in Exalurn. So you've got some play on hand. They just need to find the right heroes. At this point, it feels like you have to take care of the supports first, but you also don't want a prolonged fight up against Ana. Like, the Undying just grows way too big, so they're gonna have to choose their targets carefully here on RSG with a smoke.
Yeah. When we go. Bottom tier 2 tower, they'll get started. Thompson, he's hitting very hard. You don't even need the Exo for this. You may as well save it. Bon does not get spotted yet, but they are having a look around. Rocket Flare is up, but Zephyr, he does eventually commit a Bon. He'll make the jump in. Thompson's the target. Strength Morph was there on the Morphling. He's still fine. He'll waveform out. Meanwhile, Anna, he'll move forward. He won't catch anyone. But the tier 2 tower is still under siege. In RSG, they find absolutely nothing. Nice attempt, but just not enough follow-up.
Yeah, they try to go all in, but they're just not able to get enough. Like, this Blink BKB timing's still great from Exalurn, but you're just not ready on everyone else. Like, your chain control isn't quite there. They won't.
Go again, mid lane, MKS gonna try his absolute best. Walrus punches there, maybe they can get him this time. The blast off, the pounce away. He's not gonna land the blast off in time.
Oh.
Now the onslaught, but Thompson, he'll just go right back in. Look at this, Giga Chad. Absolute Giga Chad is Thompson. As they will find another kill. 2 left on the side of RSG. They will try to run. Cuckoo will voice land the whole time. Oh boy, 8k advantage for T1 and RSG. I mean, they're trying. They find 2 supports for their trouble, but it's just not worth the trade.
No, definitely not. Big wins for T1. All their cores stay alive. They managed to get this really good push down mid. Xiao Yu does have the Ags, so maybe a bit of a reveal here if he wants, but doesn't have the follow-up if he even kicked Thompson back. Still, this is the moment where RSG can have even more play. And that's the timing that we tend to wait for. Xiao Yu can set the plays for his team now with the snowball into the kick. It's all about finding the right targets. Maybe you just play that pick-off game now with the Tusk. You can get that done relatively fast with his hero with the Yags up.
Yeah. Bottom lane, Anna, he is by himself. This could be an opening for RSG. Shards are on target. The Fusel Blade is there. Anna, he'll pop his BKB. Drop the Tombstone. He's very low on mana now. He'll pop the Flesh Golem though. Trying to fight back. With the Tombstone going, the zombies, they'll follow. Anna, still dropping low. Needs to keep fighting. Snowball is there. Hookshot's not in time. They've got the Pos 1 Undying down. RSG finding a great pick-off now. As Whitemon does move in with the finger. MKS is going to drop a great trade as T1 will just keep going. Roger, he will drop to Cuckoo. Onto more they go. Zhao Yu, the zombies are still following him down. Anna laughing from the grave as Thompson. He'll take the double. Godlike spree for Thompson. 9-0-5.
Yeah, they're getting way too much. It takes so much commitment just to find the Undying. 9-22 now. As RSG, I mean, they get these key items. They try to clump up, but they don't clump up as 5. They still try to work the map. They still try to get that build up. But it does feel like they need that full commitment because T1's just ready to turn. And that was a sickening max range Earth Spike out from Whitebond into the finger. Just barely clipping onto MKS on the edge. Just managing to clean up that kill. And for RSG, I mean, this game is just difficult. You've got the BKBs up and running now on Thompson as well. I still have to see what he decides to morph into. I'd really love to see the bonus stats in place. It just sounds funny and it kind of busted, but also kind of not. So I want to see him, say, turn into Problem Beast, how much tankier he is there. Turn into Slark, how much more attack speed you really have. Could be very interesting to see. With a 9k lead up, T1, in no hurry at all. They've got scaling locked in with Thompson. Although down the line, I mean, Undying does kind of taper off, and you can see Anna's itemization going into the raid pact. So they know that the scaling core is going to be Thompson. They just need to go to utility now for everyone else. For RSG, they're still clumping around here. They still have this kickback ready on Xiao Yu.
See what they can get done with it, MKS. I mean, he's showing signs of brilliance here with RSG. I mean, they are certainly not out of this game yet. Smoke rotation, RT1, they're on the high ground. This is not good news at all. RSG need to retreat. This is not the fight. They're going to try. They have lost Zhao Yu on the tusk, it seems, as Zhao Yu eventually going to drop. Not the worst situation, but now with their pulse 3 tusk down, T1, they are going to rush for the Roshan pit. It is still 15 seconds away, though. A counter smoke now from RSG. 4v5 scenario, they want to go for the surprise. They think Roshan's happening. They'll find out now it's not. A great blast off. It lands on 2. Anna's caught. Wymon, Anna, they're both gone. No buyback for Anna. Wymon does commit his buyback immediately, but RSG, they salvage a pretty bad situation and turn it into a pretty good situation.
It's a nice kill to pick up. Not the biggest in the world, but they do force the buyback from Whitebond, and that will force a little bit more caution out from T1. Wait for the respawn on Anna, which will allow the side of RSG to play with Xiao Yu. And again, try to go for those kickback plays. He's been gunning for a lot of different heroes. Last fight, he did kick back Cuckoo, but the BKB does ensure that the DP is not going to tie off anytime soon.
Thompson stuff. He's chasing down Xiaobonbon. He's got the pounces going, though he needs a few seconds for that cooldown. Xiaobonbon purges out. They are going to try and move back in. MKS, he cannot man-fight whatsoever against this Morphling. Nice try.
That 70 bonus attack speed plus the stolen morph Agi is pretty busted. You can't quite just right-click down to Morphling when he takes your form there on the Slark. You won't have the damage or attack speed to kind of match him. So the value on the Ags is already showing itself there, Mikey. Shiva's Guard fully up for Cuckoo now as well. As T1 still maintained the lead in this game, 11-23. RSG, and they're gonna have this BKB.
Oh, what a hook shot! Zephyr, right in. 4-staff was there. Exilern gonna go for the pulverize with the Komo no Mi once again. Looks like Zephyr is gonna be just fine. Is Exilern, he'll get out of there. Meanwhile, Thompson, he'll get to work. He's got that Slark morph again. There goes Roger. Xiaobonbon, blast off, but Thompson right behind him. What blast off? He comes right back to the Morphling. In we go again. Roshan is still available. Anna will get started.
It's not going to take long for this one to fall down. Roche number 2, Aegis and Shard ready to go here. And for RSG, I mean, they have these unique draft ideas. They've been trying out this mid Problem Beast. They go back to the Raji Elder Titan, which I believe is one of his favorite heroes, one of his specialties from his time in SMG and before. But it's not enough. Like, they play such a passive game. T1 wins out all lanes. They've been winning out all the engagements here as well. Their decision-making, their initiation from T1's just been very clean. I mean, you're at the point where even just Zephyr coming in solo is already a threat. Like, you might kill the Clockwork, but the follow-up's always going to be there for T1.
It's Tier 2 top tower gone. I like the transition from Ana as well, John. He picks up a Wraith Pact on the Undying, so he's just acting as a pos 3 now. Like, he just appreciates that, yeah, Thompson's my real carry this game. I don't feel like carrying. Let Thompson do the work. Get the Wraith Pact, make the team fights even harder now for RSG. And they've been charging it a lot. These pouncies, these onslaughts, these snowballs and blinks in, but going into the Wraith Pact, you're going to be lacking so much damage here now against T1. RSG, 11k behind. They are already lacking quite a bit of damage to begin with. So with the Wraith Pact, it's going to feel quite impossible to fight. What can they do? Like, RSG, well, what do you think they need to build into? Or do they need to buy space, John? Well, what's it all about here to try and make a comeback throughout this game 1?
They need pick-offs. Just kill off the supports, start to get some permanent agi built up more onto MKS, you know, drag it out until he gets his level 20 talent. Once he does have that 20 talent in these prolonged fights, the Slark can feel a lot better with the additional agi he can steal out, or even just the attack speed, but probably just the agi. It's difficult to do that. Like, just look at T1's positioning. They are not breaking up as a unit 5. They get a good scan here as well.
Oh, they know MKS is in the tree line. They know someone's in the tree line. They're going to find him as well. Hookshot is there. MKS is just destroyed. Whitemon will give him the finger. 4 stacks for him now on that lion. The game sense from T1. They just know. They know someone's there. Oh, shit, they just can't catch a break here, John. Losing that pos 1 Slark again. They're just getting further and further behind. Feels like they have no way of dealing with the Aegis of Thompson. And if you're T1, you're looking for high ground very soon with this Aegis. I mean, these team fights have been so one-sided anyway. Thompson's currently 8k ahead of the Slark in terms of net worth. There's a kickback onto Ana. He's not really the problem though, and he's too tanky anyway. He's not dying. He's moving right in fact. He does not care.
Oh boy.
He's just gonna Giga Chat it up. Hookshot or not, he will take down Roger. How dare you kick the Humble God?
Yeah, they can't deal with him. It has to be the sports they kind of pick off first, but there's just no good angles for Xiaoyu to take. The front line's so well protected. They clear out the tier 3. Rack's not going to take long. They could go for Megas. I wouldn't blame them for going for tier 4s at this point, just because there's really nothing to stop them. But they'll play it safe on T1's end. Go for the mid set first.
Oh, Whitemon. If he's there with the Hex, they did not get the kickback onto Thompson. So Xiaoyu in trouble. Exilern at least does find a trade onto the line as Xiaoyu has survived. It's a 1 for nothing. Blast off is out, but the strength morph is there from Thompson. MKS now being caught out. He's the one being hunted by Thompson. Hookshot, Zephyr, where's he gone? Trying to go onto the Tusk, but finds the creep wave instead. So Zephyr is going to be sacrificed here by T1. RSG, they'll lose 1 lane of barracks. They do protect the mid though. They find a couple support pickoffs, and that'll allow them to remain in this game 1.
And that's what they need to keep doing. Again, look for these squishy supports. Make the fight a little bit uncomfy for the side of T1. And just try to find a numbers advantage and work your way from there. 12k lead still remains for T1 though, Mike. Pretty massive lead at this point in the game. Although at 35 minutes, it's not the biggest in the world, but a lot of that gold is on Thompson. He is so far ahead of everyone else. It's kind of maddening. They're trying to push.
They're gonna try. Echo stops there. Oh boy. Yeah. Excellent. Does end up going down. Way out of position for RSG. Obviously, it's desperate times right now, John. You can't quite blame them, but it feels like it's just, you gotta buy more space, I suppose, for MKS. Then again, John, he's 0-6 right now on the Slark. He has not had a good game whatsoever.
No, and I don't think it's really space you're looking for, just pickoffs. You really need to find a backline somehow. Just punish the supports of T1. And again, it provides you openings to deal with these cores, because these cores by themselves don't have the most team fight in the world. You can use that against him, although it depends on what Thompson's form takes, as his morphs haven't really impactful.
He has Lincoln's this time. Lincoln's will be broken. The Walrus kick, though, never there. Still, they'll jump in with the blast off Thompson. He does go down. That'll be the first death of the game for Thompson. RSG, they have found an opening for this team fight. MKS, they'll rush now. Cuckoo, he'll get diffused up, slowed down. He will force staff away. In goes Xiaoyu, but the kick is onto Whitemon and it goes the wrong way. Snowball out now, back to the high ground for Zhao Yu. And T1, they are not fighting without their Morphling. They're back. RSG, however, they've got to go. There's no buyback on Thompson. This is the opening they've been waiting for.
And that's what they need. And for some reason, T1 in that fight onto the high ground, Zephyr and Whitemon were so far away. Like, they could not come in to help. They weren't there to disrupt the fight. With the hook shots, with the Hex, with the Earth Spikes coming out, it allowed RSG to just dogpile onto Thompson and still have the damage for him. Still,
T1, they're still hanging around. Anna, he'll get kicked back. He does have BKB and the Tombstone. It'll be dropped. Decays are going now. Who have they got? They'll try onto Zhao Bonbon. The Techies has been caught, will go down. In goes MKS onto Zephyr. A stomp is there. It will not help the cause. Anna, he's still going. Still stealing strength away, but Zephyr is going to go down as now Whitemon. He'll be targeted by XE Learn with the Pulverize. Zephyr, he'll be forced to buy back on the Clockwork as XE Learn. He's looking for a way out now. He does not want to be here any longer, but he has no choice in the matter. Zephyr would love to find a little bit more, but does not have hookshot off cooldown. So not a bad fight whatsoever. You forced the Clockwork buyback, but it costs you 2 lives. That was your mid-primal beast going down as well. Not the greatest fight at all for RSG.
not the greatest, but a fight they needed. Every time they find a kill, that's still an important win or an important gain for them. You can see in that fight. Look at the minimap. Look at how far Whitemon and Zephyr are. That's what they need to do. Kill the supports, or at least drag them away from these fights, and you can find those openings.
You saw a replay as well of Thompson getting delayed in that last team fight as well. You're just going to be so careful of this untying. Just too many decays being given back the way of that man. As now a team fight breaks out. MKS has been caught. Still, they'll go for a Walrus Punch. Zephyr, he does force stuff away. Snowball is backing him up, but no, the Glimmer Cape. It'll buy a bit of time. Zhao Yu still trying to look around, cannot find the Clockwork, as he will BKB TP out. He does not want to stick around. Like, the only person left without a kill on the board here, or rather a death on the board for T1, is Cuckoo. He's 9-0-11 right now, so the offlane DP's having a great time.
He's just had a fantastic time. I mean, he's controlling that top lane really well. His item buildup just allows him to be super active. He's got the refresh up, double BKB usage on hand. Very hard to kind of focus in on, and his healing is just insane. There's nothing to stop such rapid healing in this game as well. Ana, full Assault Curious up, even more attack speed to kind of have with the Flash Golem zombies coming out there. It's a full-on Halloween party when On is on to someone. MKS?
Whitemon, he'll blink away. MKS, gonna be okay. He'll avoid the Earth Spike. XE Learn will pop the Pulverize, force the BKB from Ana, but there's a hook shot. Zephyr on target again. XE Learn, he'll onslaught away with the BKB. He'll survive for now, and the Stomp will hold them back though. Whitemon still trying to move in, but Zhao Yu, he'll get caught by the Hex, the Finger. It's there as well. Zhao Yu's gone. Trying to catch the Lion, but does not get so lucky. Zhao Bonbon, blast off away. XE Learn, he'll onslaught away as well. Zephyr still on the chase, but hook shots on cooldown for another 20 seconds. They are just going to chase with the rocket flare. Keep getting that vision up. Cogs, is it going to be out? Yes, it will. Zephyr connects the dust, and meanwhile, mid lane, MKS will get the BKB TP away in time on the Slark. Zhao Bonbon, however, he will not be so lucky. He'll try to run with the Glimmer Cape into the tree line. He might actually make it out, and he does. But T1, they're only interested in objectives right now anyway. Thompson into the mid-tier 3 tower. He doesn't care about the support techies, and the techies has no TP anyway. KS has to get those essence shifts going. Thompson shows no signs of caring. That'll be the mid-racks gone. T1, another objective taken.
Yep. Clean up. One lane of Rack's advantage now here for T1. Have to say one thing as well here, Mike. Thompson, with the Ags, if he turns into an enemy Tusk, apparently he also gets Walrus Kick, if I saw that right. So, you know, a free kickback for Thompson in case they need to simplify these fights further on from the side of T1. For RSG, their options are getting limited. Now it really feels like you're just depending on Zhao Yu to put someone heavily out of position. You still have to take care of these supports. T1, smoke play here.
XE Learn, he'll try to scout out the Roshan pit with the Shivers Guard. Nobody in there yet because the Roshan is still about 15 seconds away from respawning. T1 with the 4-man smoke waiting across the river on their own side of things, on the dire side. RSG patiently waiting for someone to be out of position for the kickback. T1 trying to bait with a haste rune. MKS, he takes it, in they go.
Oh.
A 3-man cogs, with the tombstone right outside of it. This is not a good fight whatsoever. They'll keep it going though. Banana's got the BKB. The blast off does nothing. Xiao Bonbon is gonna drop. So will the Primal Beast. Onto Roger they go. Thompson, he'll move right in. That'll be another kill and 3 buybacks committed from RSG. Zephyr setting up the perfect team fight with a 3-man cogs. And now another smoke. RSG, do they know? They might think the Roshan's happening right now. Zephyr will reveal it. Roger, fine for now. Xiao Yu, not so much. Thompson blows him up. There goes the pulverize. It's cancelled by Whitemon. MKS tries to jump the lion. A big blast off by Xiao Bonbon onto 3, but there's no damage. There is just 0 damage coming out from RSG, as they are going to lose 3 more heroes. And in fact, MKS, he's not out of the woods yet either. Thompson's on the chase. He's got the Tusk form. He'll chase him down. Pounce was on cooldown. There's your Pounce out now, though. Back into the Roshan pit, I think, for T1.
Not going to take too long. And they've still got Exo. They will refresh the Exo just to clear out this Rosh.
Roger.
And they should be able to find him.
He's trying to delay the Roshan happening. He's been caught out, however. Anna's not having any of it. Whitemon will give him the finger once again. And Roshan, it will indeed go the way of T1. Who gets the Axe Blessing? It seems like it's going to be Cuckoo.
Yeah, I mean, why not at this point? Like the free Ags, the speed up, the push, speed up. These fights with all the little ghosts you spawn just kind of makes this game a lot faster for the side of T1. RSG, I mean, with those diebacks, I don't know if you have any options. You're at least going to be playing against mid creeps. I still don't see a great defense coming out. If Xiao Yu kicks into the fountain, like twice over, that could stall the game out, but you're dealing with mega creeps. This lineup doesn't wave clear all too well.
31k advantage as well. They'll try to kick back towards the fountain onto Anna, but he's not the problem. The problem's Thompson. He gets the shards off. Xiao Yu is gone. MKS, he'll try for the man fight. Anna's just tanking through it. He doesn't care. He's just standing there taunting him. Right in front of the fountain. Just tanks all the damage. Tier 4 towers, they're going to be under siege. MKS, he's going to try. He's going to try, but the kickback from Thompson. Thompson. He's styling on them now, John. He is styling on the side of RSG. It's MKS, he's brought back. In they go. Anna, he will at least drop. They've got the Aegis. Meanwhile, Xiao Bonbon trying to slow down the Ancient going down, but the hook shots there. Thompson just hitting away onto the Ancient. In fact, never mind that. He wants the kills. Pounce towards the south, though. Have they gone too far? RSG, they might punish. Thompson, he'll pop the BKB. He still has the Aegis. Can they at least find that? Thompson, look at this Giga Chat. He'll man fight. There goes the Aegis, though, XE Learn with the Pulverize. He'll get one down. He'll even find the Aegis of Thompson, but the Ancient's still exposed. He'll get the job done now. No more playing around. That'll be it. Game 1 to go the way of T1. A fun matchup between these two, but T1, they were just way too dominant here. Way too dominant.
Yeah, and they go back into that Morphling that we saw them pull out in their last matchup, and Thompson just has a really good time. Dances around, shows his muscle there just a bit. And RSG, I mean, they looked a little bit broken there, Mike. This was a hopeful team in Tour 3. They almost had a shot at the majors.